Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you another video. All right, so I got 24 minutes to mention what just happened with the Spurs and the Orlando Magic, and of course the Phoenix Suns. Halfway through my breakfast, so damn hungry, but gotta tell you this stuff right now. I ain't gonna let it wait. So Bol signed a one-year deal with the Suns, fully guaranteed, and they got rid of their last remaining point guard in order to do that. Cam Payne is now going to the San Antonio Spurs, along with a second-round pick, and of course, the Suns are going to be taking back a second-round pick, which means they gave them Cam Payne. They take him. We'll take back Cam Payne and some cash consideration. We'll take back one of your seconds, which is probably considered a little better, I guess, depending on how this goes with the Suns, and of course, cash considerations have to come back to the Suns as well in this situation. And of course, they did another deal. The Suns did. They traded their 26 pick swap, 2026, for 3 second rounders from the Orlando Magic. So, from what I understand, they did get rid of Cam Payne so that they could sign Bol to that deal. I think that's how that goes. And now they have no real point guard on the roster. Now, am I alarmed by that, honestly? I think I'm more so concerned that they let go a legitimate role player that could help boost their already weak bench this week. But I also see that they brought back a lot of ammo that they can also retrade before the season even ends to get a lot back, more than what Cam Payne is worth. Even though I think they could have probably got a little more for Cam Payne if they would have started the season for him and had him play a little more than what they probably had him planned for themselves. That probably would have been a better way to get a better return for him. But if you got to expedite the process to bring in Bol, then you ain't got that choice, and it makes sense if that's what you want to do. I like Bol for them. I don't know if I like them for Bol, though. And we talked about that last night. He's going to be asked to win now and play well in a championship situation, and I just think he, after what I saw on a little bit of content that I saw last night, I just don't think that he's ready. He's not ready for that type of role. So maybe he's doing the work now. Maybe he has become ready. And hopefully he takes a huge jump, because he was starting to have a breakout last year. And I think he's going to be an extremely helpful piece for a Phoenix Suns team that can use all the rim protection in the world. So I know he's not the greatest defensive player, but he's going to get deflections. He's going to be helpful on the defensive end for them. And he will improve. So they got some good pieces in Phoenix. I'm not going to sit here and hold you guys. Them getting Bol, bringing in the Kings center. I always forget which one they got. I think it's Neemias Queta. I don't remember which one they got. But they got a center from the Kings as well. Active, big body dude. They did some good things for themselves in the offseason that ultimately gave them some real role players that could help them, man. And so bringing in Bol might just have solidified that they have a deep bench if he plays well. I didn't think they had a deep bench this morning, but if he can play to the upside that he's capable of, he can be that guy that makes them impossible, absolutely impossible. And you still got to consider Ayton's on the floor. I like Ayton having a running mate that tall, that who can move like he does. So that's a good piece for the Phoenix Suns. Just hopefully he doesn't not play well. Hopefully he doesn't play poorly in the situation. So that's really what it is, man. Orlando's getting back those 3 picks. Or rather, are they the ones giving out the picks? So they're taking back a pick swap, I believe that is. They're taking back a 26 pick swap. That's going to be a key player for them in the year 2026, or some good trade equity that they can move to get whatever they want. But they have such a young team with so many young pieces that trading those 3 second rounders for a first rounder just kind of condenses what they have in them into less, which is good. So I like it. I like it for them, and for the Phoenix Suns, I like it as well, because it took what they had and made it more, which is what they need, since they had so few pieces that make up the majority of what it is their equity is. They needed to take something and turn it into more. They could actually benefit from turning $1 into 4 quarters. So it'll give them more places to send that dollar. And I think that's what a team like Phoenix ultimately needs. So it makes sense. Both teams, that's good. And campaign going to Phoenix to the San Antonio Spurs is a steal, man. That's an absolute steal. Campaign is very underrated in this league right now. The role that he had on Phoenix allowed for him to play in some meaningful minutes in the NBA Finals, in the NBA's playoff opportunities, all kinds of different stuff. He's a defensive player that can really steal the ball. That's one of the things he's good at. And his jump shot's getting better. He can be aggressive here and there, and he's not somebody that you expect to develop to be a star, but he is somebody that you expect to help bring some experience and some finals experience to the San Antonio Spurs. I like the acquisition of Cedi Osman, and I like the acquisition of Campaign. If I'm not mistaken, they played together in Cleveland as well, so that's continuities there. I see what the San Antonio Spurs are doing. I'm not oblivious to them snatching up Phoenix's point guard like that and bringing him to their situation to play with the other players that they have in place. Trey Jones, point guard, Campaign back there. Yeah, that's a nice little tandem of point guards around Wemby. I like that Vassell, obviously everything they have, Johnson. So they got a lot of talent. They're a sneaky good team this year. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but they are a sneaky, solid Western Conference team that I don't think wants to lose this season. I don't think they do. And if Wemby's healthy, you're going to have to deal with him. So yeah, like I said, not a playoff team, probably not a play-in tournament team. Would be considered a bad team, but they're going to win some games. They're going to have some fight about them. And I like the acquisition of Campaign, and maybe they can make some more moves to make themselves better, which I don't think. I don't see them being that aggressive, but this is a nice little move. This is a nice little move for the Spurs for their future, and it costs them nothing. It costs them absolutely nothing, man. So that is why you love this move for the Spurs. So yeah, that is where my head goes. And then again, we just double back to the Phoenix Suns, and we just understand that they just had a really, 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 really successful free agency. Really successful. And it seems like their summer league team is playing well. You know what I mean? If I'm not mistaken, they're still involved in the summer league and in the Final Four, if I'm not mistaken. So you gotta like how that looks for them. Kamara looks good. The rookie that they just drafted, I believe his name is Kamara. Forgive me if it's not, but they're doing good. They're doing good. Picking up Bol just solidified the win for them. Now, how does this tumble forward? I think now you see the Lakers likely sign Christian Wood. I think this cues that being the case. I think Christian Wood's gonna sign with the Lakers now. It makes sense. The Lakers don't have anybody else they should be waiting on. I think Bol was probably the guy. Try to see where he was going to go, probably try to see if the market was going to move at all. As we talked about, we were wondering if things were going to be able to take place because of the Dame Lillard situation, but I don't see that locking up the market like last year's situation, because it was two things at the same time that locked the market the way that they did, not one. So within the Gobert trade, and of course KD's demand to Phoenix. So with Dame's situation being the only thing in place that's kind of holding stuff up, James Harden, that's also a trade, but they're not locking up the market, fortunately enough, because you see this taking place. So yeah, hopefully that means good things for all the free agents that are out there. Now that Bol is signed, there's a price tag on things that isn't crazy, and guys should be able to get on teams. So that's what we were hoping to see this morning as we were talking, and luckily enough, the NBA did make a move for us to talk about. And so that's really where my mind goes, you guys. That's the gist of my thought on this trade. I'm trying to figure out where I wrote it down on here. I still don't see where I wrote the trade down, but I know I got it right. I had it in my head, but it just is what it is. Ultimately, these teams made a couple moves that I think made sense for everybody. I think it made sense for everybody, and the only reason why you give away Campaign for that little amount is because you're trying to immediately bring in Bol right now, and that's what you just got to do to create the space. I think Campaign was underrated by the Phoenix Suns in that regard. Maybe you choose someone else to get rid of. That's how I look at that. I look at a guy like Wainwright, and I'm telling you, I don't see much there, man. I don't see much there. But he might be the only player left that I look at and see that. So it's like maybe he's the one I choose. But then again, San Antonio don't want him. San Antonio wanted Campaign, so this is how you have to get it done. So that's pretty much the end of my thought on the situation, man. I appreciate everybody watching with BDF44.